first and only daily talk show for and about the Filipinos. We are keeping you connected not only within your Filipino-American community here, but also to your loved ones in the Philippines. But at the same time, we're trying to help you live your American dream to the fullest.
This American Dream segment is brought to you by Aquino & Lowe Law Firm, answering your immigration questions.
Of course, American Dream will not be realized without your immigration documents in order. Attorney Allison Aquino is here joining us. She's not just an immigration lawyer. She's board-certified specialist in immigration and nationality law. Hello, it's been a while.
Hi,
Welcome to Kababayan, LA.
Always my pleasure.
April 1st, filing of H-1B. A lot of people, are they still going that route in order to get, legal status here in the States?
Absolutely, and it still remains the best and most efficient way in order to maintain status here in the United States and be able to work legally.
Let's talk about the requirements. First of all, you need to get a company that's willing to hire you and sponsor you for a visa. Are companies still doing that?
Well, the economy thankfully has been improving somewhat, and so there is a better ability to locate sponsors to sponsor individuals for H-1B visas.
So what are the requirements?
Well, the basic requirement is, as you point out, you need to have a company who's willing to sponsor you, and the main requirements are really two. One, that they are willing to sponsor you in a specialty occupation. And immigration has defined specialty occupation to essentially be a job that absolutely can only be done by an individual with at least a bachelor's degree.
And that is why one of the requirements also, or one of the procedures, is you place an ad in the newspaper, correct?
Actually, that's for permanent residency.
Oh.
For H-1B visas, there is no requirement for a company to conduct recruiting.
Okay, but it has to be a special job or a special task that only you can, no other in America can do, right?
Actually, again, with H-1B, it's a little bit easier than the labor certification, where immigration, the companies do not have to fulfill that requirement.
Okay.
The only thing that they need to fulfill is the requirement that the job being offered is a high-level position. So someone who needs to have a bachelor's degree, and that individual has a particular bachelor's degree to conduct that job.
Okay.
So, for example, caregivers are not qualified for H-1Bs, registered nurses are not qualified for H-1Bs. It's really individuals performing high-level positions within companies that require that bachelor's degree.
Okay, another requirement, though, for the employers is they have to actually pay the filing fees, which I need to make note of this because some of our kababayans who go through this, they don't know any better, and so they get taken advantage of because they are asked to pay the filing fees that employers should pay, Allison.
Yes, and this issue in years past was not that large of an issue, but in recent years, immigration has really started enforcing this requirement quite strictly. So individuals do need to understand, and the companies that sponsor them need to understand that all fees associated with the H-1B are the responsibility of the company. That includes attorney's fees, that includes filing fees with the Immigration Service, and if parties don't comply with the law, then there is a danger of immigration denying the application, or if it's already been approved, there's a possibility of immigration revoking an approved H-1B visa.
Thank you for clearing that with us today on the show. Also, say, for example, I already have an H-1B with an employer, but then I get laid off. Is there any remedy or relief available to me?
Well, the first thing that individuals need to understand is what constitutes a bona fide termination. And again, companies don't quite understand this as well, let alone the individual employees. What constitutes a bona fide termination is that the company must provide notice of the termination to the Immigration Service, and they also have to provide the individual, the employee, with the cost of transportation or airfare back to the home country.
Oh, okay.
If those two things are not done, then the company is still held responsible for the H-1B visa, and the individual can seek remedies or seek financial penalties against the company for not complying with those requirements.
Oh, okay.
As far as being able to transfer
to different...
and that really is the more important thing as well, because obviously, or presumably, the individual and the family wants to remain here in the United States. And so individuals, if they know that their job is in danger, or if they have been laid off or terminated, it's important for them to try to find sponsorship or another company who will hire them as quickly as possible.
What's the gap? 2 months, a month, 2 weeks?
Well, under the immigration law, there's no no specific gap.
Okay.
However, immigration essentially will give a reasonable period of time, and an individual can make arguments, especially in this economy, that a reasonable period of time could be a little bit of delay.
Yes.
Correct. And then as well, there are legal arguments regarding the bona fide termination. And so if an individual has not been terminated properly,
okay,
then conceivably arguments can be made that they are still in status, they have complied with their H-1B visa, and they can therefore transfer even if there's a long gap in employment.
And that is why you need a lawyer to help you with these things. That's number to call on the screen. Attorneys Allison Aquino and Attorney Richard Lowe of Aquino and Lowe Law Firm, they do give free office consultation. Call them now to schedule your appointment. Thank you so much, and more power to you. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, Janelle.
Magbabalik pa po ang Kababayan LA. How are Asian Americans being portrayed in the media? Very important issue that we need to discuss, and that will be when we return. Don't go away.